Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Ross Johnston. We've got some NFL news today as Bengals head coach Zach Taylor announced that new quarterback Joe Flacco will start on Sunday versus the Packers. Flacco was traded to Cincinnati yesterday and will have an opportunity on Sunday to beat the Packers for the second time already this season. The New York Giants ruled wide receiver Darius Slayton out for their Thursday night game versus the Eagles. Slayton is dealing with a hamstring injury, and also the Giants took the injury designation off of running back Tyrone Tracy Jr., so he will be good to go against Philly. Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon said that quarterback Kyler Murray will not practice today due to a foot injury that he suffered against the Titans and is taking it day by day. The Indianapolis Colts are signing veteran linebacker Jermaine Pratt to a one-year deal. Pratt played in Cincinnati for current Colts defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, so the two will reunite in Indy. And lastly, the New York Jets have ruled out corner Michael Carter for Sunday's game in London versus the Denver Broncos due to a concussion. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and you're home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've heard from Brian Callahan. He was at the podium today. We'll hear a little bit from him later. Possibly Cam Ward will be on during this show, 2:25 p.m. up at the podium. Sometimes he's early, sometimes he's way late. We're just going to have to play it by ear and figure it out when it happens.
Well, wait a minute. Since you're so good at your gambling bets, what is your bet that he will be on time or not? Wait a minute. First of all, Ross, do you have something to say about his gambling? I mean, his bets? Is he 500 yet?
His average went up just a tad after this weekend.
Hey, listen, I got 3 of my 5 bets correct, so we're trending upwards. We're still above 50%.
Oh, you're just like Cam Ward. You're above 50%.
Yeah, me and Cam Ward, same completion percentage.
He's treading water right now.
Yeah.
With superstar capability to have fat pockets.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of that, just came down from On3 Sports. The NCAA's Division I Administrative Committee adopted a proposal that would allow student athletes and athletic department staff to gamble on professional sports. In order for that to be finalized, the proposal must be approved by all 3 NCAA divisions, Division I, Division II, and Division III. Divisions 2 and 3 are expected to consider it during their respective meetings at the end of the month. So Division I obviously adopted the proposal. Now we got to get the other 2 involved. That's kind of crazy to me. That seems like a little bit of a slippery slope, because what's to stop a player from accidentally going and betting on another college game? Like you can't firewall that kind of stuff. Now you can track it, but you can't firewall it. So I don't know. A little bit of a slippery slope.
Were you hypothetically not supposed to bet on the NFL as a Division III college athlete?
I guess not. Uh-oh, you're in trouble. They're coming back for you.
I didn't say I did that. Just saying, these are all hypotheticals.
Just hypothetically speaking.
Just if someone did.
Just if let's say someone by the name of Koss did this. Is that what you're saying?
If someone by the name of Koss put in parlays every weekend in college, then
why
would that
Division
be an issue?
3?
Well, my opinion.
Josh Ronston.
Well, if I was over the NCAA, I would let you gamble even on college sports, just not the sport that you actually play in.
Yeah.
That to me seems a little more we're going to protect you, but we're not. Oh, now we can make more money with these now we got to allow so we're going to put restrictions on it. No, there should be no restrictions unless you're actually betting on maybe that sport. These college guys, they kind of grew up now in the era where they're doing that online on their phones all the time. So
yeah.
I just I don't like babysitting. I'm not in a mechanism. You got to fall and fail, failure and all that on your own. You got to learn. You got to learn your lessons, especially us guys, right? Especially when we all been 20, right?
Yep.
So you got to fall. So to me, I think they should just rip the Band-Aid and kind of even the NFL had to. So surprisingly not, because why? The money.
Yep.
See, so yeah, I like that we've gotten here. I just want to go a little bit further. See if you got some responsibilities to. No, I can't do it with our team.
Yeah.
But I can on another team. And they're going to say, oh, that's problems. You talk to some athletes, so what? People do it in business. Why can't you do it here?
I am kind of like the opposite, I guess, in the sense of I'm okay with betting, but if you're
speaking from a true betting guy,
yeah, I'm okay with betting, obviously, but like I guess for sports, because there's been so much about not just people betting on stories of the refs, right? The refs bet on games and all that kind of stuff to control it. I would like I'm okay with them doing other sports. Like if a football player wants to bet on basketball games, I'm for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I said other sports other than the sport that you actually play. Refereeing is a little bit different because you can actually impact the actual outcome.
Yeah.
So, no, you cannot. So a little bit different there. That's why as an athlete, you can't be betting on your team. You may have some inside information as well, too. So,
Joe Flacco, just real quick, because you brought this up. I was like, man, it's already crazy.
So you're going to tell what I brought up on there.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to say this. I said it was crazy that kind of Joe Flacco's already starting for the Cincinnati Bengals, and
take it through the trade. I mean, a lot of people don't know.
So yesterday, Joe Flacco was traded to the Cincinnati Bengals, a rare in-division trade, intra-division trade, and it was Joe Flacco and a 6 for the Bengals' 5th-round pick.
So swap pick rounds.
Yeah.
So someone like Bronley, right?
Yes, except for the 40-year-old got the better stuff. And it was announced today he's starting on Sunday. And I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. That's pretty quick. And what'd you say?
I said, who do they play?
I said the Packers.
And I said, oh, this is why with the Browns, they beat the Packers with their only win.
Yeah.
I said, but there is an exception here. I don't think they have Myles Garrett on.
That's true. They got Trey Hendrickson, but he
they beat him with Flacco starting at quarterback. I think I'm right on that. I'm not sure. I just guessed.
Now, Flacco was 21 of 36 for 142 and a pick, so did not play well in that game, but they did win. So he's got a chance to beat the same team twice in the span of a month, 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks, right?
Crazy.
Wow.
And for two different teams. But now he's behind a way worse offensive line. Now he's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, so maybe his arm can sling it a little deep or take advantage of that. But can you imagine a statue like Joe Flacco behind this offensive line?
Wait, so hear my theory out real quick. So Joe Flacco, in I believe 2 weeks, I believe next week actually, or no, 3 weeks, the Steelers host the Packers. Joe Flacco has only not played for the Steelers. He's played for all the other AFC North teams. He gets traded to the Steelers for their home game against the Packers in a few weeks. Aaron Rodgers is like, hey, this is too much. I'm going to have to sit this one out. Flacco beats the Packers 3 times in the same season, and he plays for the entire AFC North and then gets traded to wherever.
I love a good conspiracy theory.
Oh, wow. Has a player ever... not to play the same team, but gotten traded 3 times in a season, or 2 times in a season.
I'll look that up.
2
Probably
times,
Josh Johnson,
I think.
Probably.
Well, 2 times in a season. Didn't Deontay Johnson just do that? Wasn't that 2 times in a season?
Well, he might have been 3 times.
Yeah, he may have been close to 3.
That receiver, right, from the Steelers.
Because he went from the Steelers to the Panthers, from the Panthers to the Texans or Ravens, then one or the other. Then he went back, and it was crazy.
Oh, right. Because I can't tell if he got cut. Or was he traded?
I think he got traded.
Because he was on the Ravens and he just wouldn't go in the game, remember?
Right.
He's talking about he wasn't warmed up.
That was crazy.
I mean, when I hear stuff like that, I was like, that can't be true.
Yeah.
I can't imagine if I turn to my coach and he says, hey, man, get ready to go in next play. And I go, I can't go in. I've been standing here for, 3.5 quarters.
Well, we were talking about James Harrison's first NFL game yesterday. Bill Cowher was in a clip I saw on Twitter, and he was recounting a conversation between him and Dick LeBeau when it was James Harrison, who is a behemoth of a man.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably like the when I think of like just big old guys that are just like.
Well, he's only like 6 feet,
Yeah,
but
but
he
he's
is a
all
strong.
muscle,
But
right.
all that stuff online with all his workouts is crazy.
Right.
Thousands of pounds. I'm like, wow.
Pound for pound, he's probably the strongest person I can think of in the NFL.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they go, Dick LeBeau says, this is his first game, James Harrison's first game. And Dick LeBeau goes, James Harrison, he won't come out of the game. He goes, well, make him come out of the game. Tell me he has to come out of the game.
I thought Bill Cowher said something to
Bill
him.
Cowher said that
Okay.
to Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau says, I'm not going to tell him, you tell him. And Bill Cowher says, no, I'm not going to tell him either. So he just let him play the whole game.
Yeah, that guy came from, pretty much nothing there as
Yeah.
far as getting a shot at the league. I don't think he was going to ever relinquish that.
Like if there was ever like in your prime, like a fight, kind of like how people talk about coaches fighting each other and who would win in a big brawl. I would think James Harrison would probably go all the way to the end, maybe against like Aaron Donald, and maybe there's someone I'm missing, but like since the 2000s.
Oh, that's a good one.
But yeah.
Some of these.
Trent Williams.
I don't know.
Oh.
I think James Harrison.
Oh, yeah. I would not.
Him.
Yeah, you talking about the tackle for the 49ers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would not mess with him.
Yeah.
I'd be in the game like, what are you doing, Blake? I'm running away from that guy over there. I cannot get in arm's reach of that guy right there.
But I don't think a single player has been traded in a season 3 times. Now, Kenny Pickett was just traded 3 times in a calendar year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Also,
true.
in
Okay.
'93, Eric Dickerson was traded from the Colts to the Falcons, and then from the Falcons to the Packers in the same season. But the Falcons to the Packers trade got voided.
So it was a void trade, so one trade didn't happen.
Speaking of fights, Gannon, the head coach of Arizona, he didn't get in a fight. He got fined by the organization, by the way.
A lot of money.
$100,000, man. What has a bleep on it? I mean, if you make it 500.
They should take at least 400 of that $100,000 and send it to me.
No.
Because
What's that?
I got emotionally damaged that game. So
There are probably some people who are considering talking to lawyers to get a lawsuit going for you.
I mean, give me a break.
Come on, man. You kidding me? I got emotionally damaged.
I did. I literally, I was telling the story, but like when the run happens and he breaks through that second level, I'm like, he's gone. And I'm already thinking about this nice barrel smoker I'm going to buy for the backyard to cook some meat on and everything. And then when you see him look up, you can see it while he's running in real time. Look up at the screen. I just drop to my knees in the studio. I go, he's either going to get caught from behind or he's going to drop the ball. And he dropped the ball. I didn't expect it to go way out the end zone, but he dropped the ball before he even got there. I was heartbroken.
Oh, you're heartbroken. So you're emotionally damaged. I thought you were talking about when he came over and kind of hit the guy.
No. That's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
He was
I don't
probably
have
happy about that.
Yeah, I don't.
He
I mean,
said that
like,
about that, didn't he?
yeah.
Zach would have done worse.
When I saw the clip, I was like, "That's for me. That's for me."
We jump when he hit. Oh, no. Oh, because of your
It
back.
was just a little love tap in the gut.
On a fully padded player, too.
I will say this.
You're a
about
player.
that. Yes, I'm a player, and I'm definitely old school, and I still thought that was over the line.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
an
he did
emotional
too.
game, for not only for the coaches, let alone the head coach, but it's also for the players.
Yeah.
So just imagine, you thought it was nothing. Just imagine if he would have retaliated when he hit him. Now, he didn't hit him just that last time that we got on film. He hit him in the beginning in his chest, kind of giving him a, come on, man, that was just dumb, or whatever he said, right? Then he gave him that. To me, it was the last shot on the walk away that could have led down a different road, especially dealing who you're talking to. So maybe he knew he was talking to a guy who doesn't play with a lot of emotion, playing running back. I don't know. He already had his teammates there consoling him at the time. It's all right, man. We got you. It's okay. Blah, 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 blah. So, to come over there, to me, just timing of what you want to do with someone, I just thought it was inappropriate. Didn't know he would get fined like that, but
I
gotta
just
be real
find the
careful.
fine to be a little
I
excessive.
thought it was.
I mean, a fine's probably
I definitely
needed.
was surprised, by the
Yeah.
way, on how high it was.
Yeah.
But I definitely, I felt like there needed to be something done because, if it was in my era, the 90s, I think a lot of people wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But we're in 2025. I think the league is every bit different. And a lot of people saw it and caught it. And if he wouldn't have got caught on camera, I don't know if a lot of people would have even cared.
Yeah.
But I get it. Sports is a little bit different, but there's a line there that you can't be. You grabbing the play. I mean, I grew up in an atmosphere where they grabbed your helmet and your face mask, and then what are you supposed to do, right, to get your attention? So, and I felt like that was okay, because that's what you grow up in, that kind of culture. But now I don't think you can do that.
Ross?
Did Travis Kelce ever get fined for hitting Andy Reid on the sideline a couple
No.
years ago in the Super Bowl?
Not that I know of.
Is that a double standard, we think, or no? Andy Reid's also an older gentleman at this point, too.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Andy Reid just went after him just a couple games ago, actually in the same type of deal. So, yeah, I get it. I don't know if it was more of a shove with his body. Wasn't like you're moving.
It's the type of strike is
Yeah,
kind of what it is.
Yeah, for me, it was violence there with Gannon, man. It was over the line. And then the intensity, the level that he was at, it was almost like he was the player that came out with the emotion playing in a game.
Does that whole thing kind of like, okay, he did it, obviously caught on tape. Now every player who may not have even known that it happened knows that it happened. But also now the fine coming from the organization, I'm sure there may even be an NFL fine. Those are released later in the week. I don't know. Yeah. But does that send anything, any kind of weird message or vibes throughout the locker room? I mean, I'm just curious.
I think how the coach handled it, I thought was really, he tried to stay in front of it. He apologized, said after he thought about it over the night, he really regretted what he had done and apologized to the team in the team meeting, let alone just in the presser. So, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal, especially if you take on this. Everybody, has emotional slip-ups when you're talking about sports.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably understandable, but I just think as your head coach, man, you can't do it, man. I can't imagine somebody, if I miss a tackle and the DC came over there and just start banging on me like that when I'm already like, oh man, pissed the heck off.
Yeah.
I don't know where it could go. That's why I asked him, what if he would have retaliated? You saw his body language.
That would have been
he
wild.
wasn't, because he was already so down in the dumps. But you got to be real careful with that, especially, defensive guys are built on emotion because that's what it is. You're reactive.
Yeah, and he's a defensive coach, right?
And that was an offensive player.
Yeah.
So, it was a thing. I'm glad something happened, but not, man, $100,000. Woo.
Yeah, $100,000's wild.
That was a huge statement there. We ain't having this.
Well, when they said it said Arizona Cardinals are fining. I just saw like the notification, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was like, does that say firing? Are they firing Jonathan Gannon? But it ended up just being fining. Then I saw it was for $100,000, and I was like, holy crap, that's a message. I wonder if they're trying to get out ahead of the NFL, maybe levying a fine or punishment, maybe because they handled it in-house, maybe they won't work. The NFL
I would
won't worry
think
about
the NFL's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And since they did that.
Yeah, since they did that. That's what I'm thinking.
That's my guess, but I could be totally wrong.
They could have, if they maybe didn't handle it in-house, and maybe they were urged by the NFL to handle it in-house. You never know how those things work. Mm-hmm. But if they didn't handle it in-house, I wonder if there could have been a suspension just because it got caught on camera.
What if he went to HR?
I don't know.
Some people told me they have HR now. I don't know that.
Do they? Oh, do they?
I have no idea. I said, are you joking with me? But I didn't want to say that. Like, no, I didn't say it to me here just because this incident. This was like last year. Yeah, they have HR. They don't have HR in any sports.
That's weird.
Talking about.
I don't know. In today's world, maybe they do. Maybe they do.
If the NFL tacked on to an $100,000 fine for that would just be cruel.
Yeah.
That's already enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ross. That would be. I would assume they wouldn't do anything, but you just never know.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to hear from our head coach, Tennessee Titans, Brian Callahan. He talked about J.C. Latham. Ooh. He talked about the Raiders. He talked about maybe getting a certain edge rusher involved. And he talked about the no-huddle offense and what it could benefit for Cam Ward. So we're going to talk all about that. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 615-737-1045. And, of course, we're broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circa Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circa Sports at Kentucky Downs. Blaine, Brian Callen was up at the podium today. He talked about a bunch of different things, but one of the things that's been kind of, I guess, perplexing, I don't know if that's the right word or not, but the status of J.C. Latham. We got from when his video or his audio, we got the video, but we played the audio on the show, of him announcing that he was going to miss his first game, right? Like, he was in the locker room. He was dejected. He was talking about how it wasn't a lateral movement thing. It was an everything thing, because they asked him, well, could you play guard with this injury right now? And he's like, no. This is just a rest kind of deal. It sounded like he was going to miss 4 games.
Yeah, that's
easily.
what you said. Yeah. It was kind of, like he was going to miss some time. Man, I don't know if it was 4 games. But
Like, when we played it, we both looked at each other and were like, that does not sound good. I mean, this sounds like it could take a while. Last week, or the last few weeks, we've gotten kind of like, oh, he's on the right track. He's getting close, and then he never practiced. Today is a little bit more positive clip from Brian Callen, because he not only gave us a little clip, an update on JC's status, but also talked about how well Oli Udoh has played as well. So here's Callahan on both JC Latham's health status and the job that Oli Udoh has done filling in for him.
Positive for him. We'll see how the week goes, but so far this week has sort of met the benchmarks necessary to keep pressing forward and hopefully get him some work at practice this week.
How's only maybe done over the last couple of weeks filling in for him, but knowing also JC help you if he can get back and play.
Yeah, JC's a huge help for us. Excited to have a chance to get him back, but Oli, I think, deserves a tip of the cap. I think he's filled in well for us in particularly the last 2 games. He's been physical. He's been stout. He's done what we've needed him to do from his job perspective. Happy with that. Happy to have a guy that we can rely on, and he's done a nice job for us.
So he's hit all the benchmarks to keep pushing forward, and JT and Easton Freeze kind of reiterates what he says, saying that J.C. Latham is still on track to get back to practice this week. The next 3 days will determine if he gets the green light for Sunday. Is this when you're going? I know you're going up against Max Crosby and everything, and he mainly lines up over on the right tackle, which is bad news for whoever is lined up over there. And they're going to have their hands full. But how much are you trying to push and clear those benchmarks if you're not J.C. Latham, but also the coaching staff, to go ahead and get him out there? Or is this kind of like you just have to let his body tell you if he can go or not?
Well, I think that's what they're doing. I think now they've just gotten to the process. It has nothing to do with the opponent and who you're playing and Max Crosby and all that. These guys are all really good. Naturally, he's an elite player. So you're just trying to make sure you get him back on the right track. So you do all these tests, and now go to practice, see how it responds when he wakes up tomorrow. And then see. I mean, I've seen guys look great at practice, and then all of a sudden come back, next day, it's all swollen, and they're like, nah, it ain't ready.
Like ice packs over half their body.
So, you just never know. So I don't know the extent of his hip injury, but I just know when you're a big guy and you got to move lateral, it takes a lot of firepower to do that.
Right.
So it can feel good one day and one day not. So.
Yeah, and you're going to need maximum power out there against
Max.
Yeah, 80%. What I'm saying? Even against Max Crosby, he's going to feast on you. Yeah. And I'm not saying that Oli Udoh is a better player or anything than J.C. Latham, but, I'm also worried about J.C. Latham not just being available this week, being available next week. And the week after that, and the week after that. And if he gets out there and he's only at 80%, and we kind of saw him get out there way before he was ready, on way less rest, and it backfired, and he re-injured the hip again. And so I'm just worried that I don't want them to have to re-injure I don't want the hip to be re-injured. I want him to be out there at 100%, or as close to 100% as possible, because obviously...
Or at least where you can't make it worse. So right. I don't know the extent. Is it like a strained hip muscle?
Yeah, a hip strain.
Oh, man, goodness. So I'm assuming it's just like a hamstring, man. It can feel good one day, and then all of a sudden you're caught in a position where you turn and in your hip motion and you're in an awkward position and it comes right back.
Yeah. And then he's going to be put in awkward positions, right? You have to be able to flex to counter all the moves and pass rush moves that Max Crosby is going to throw at you. And not only that, you're going to have to move people out of the way for run games, right? You have to take different angles and different distances and use different power. And I just get, I am looking at J.C. Latham as obviously not just a short-term solution, a long-term solution. And I'd rather have him. If he's not really ready, I'd rather have him ready next week. If he's not really ready this week, next week's fine.
Yeah, well, I think they brought up Ogudo because he has actually played okay. Like we're managing through.
Right.
And so what's one more week? I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You can't let it dictate how quickly you're trying to push a player. And with an injury like that, nah. Especially, he's a really elite player. Then all of a sudden he'll be out for the year. You go out there and do something, and he's going to try to play. And he's the type that wants to play. I guarantee you that. So got to be real careful. I wouldn't put him out there now thinking about all of it until he's 100%.
Yeah.
Because the likelihood that it could still happen even if he's at 100. It could come right back. He could feel great.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if he's on the left side, right side, guard, tackle. It doesn't matter. This is just a hip strain that just doesn't help either way. It doesn't matter where you put him. But the thing about Oliudo, too, is that he's looked pretty good, but he's also had a lot of help, right? They've used more 12 personnel. They used more 13 personnel. Heck,
that may be good for them anyway.
Yeah, that may be good for them anyway. But they also used 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, with extra offensive linemen on the field, too. So they did. And that's a good thing for this team right now. And really maybe a good thing against the Las Vegas Raiders as well to help neutralize that pass rush. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, Oliudo has played fine. He played a lot better than I thought. He's gotten better every week.
Yes, he has.
And I will say that the offensive line, I've seen a lot of people talk about how great they looked against Houston. I guess I watched a different game than everybody else because I thought they were pretty bad against Houston. I mean, they allowed like near 18 to 20 pressures, if memory serves. I mean, they didn't get a lot of sacks.
We talk about Arizona.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But against Houston, I'm going. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people thought they looked good against Houston. They're saying, well, it's gotten better every week. I'm like, no, it dipped at Houston. Like, you got to be honest here. It was not good at Houston.
Did it get okay? Was it okay with Houston? I thought it was just average if you want to give it that. 26-0.
I didn't think it was, it was bad.
Yeah. I mean, they had pressure everywhere. They didn't get a lot of sacks.
Right.
But they were flushing the pocket. Cam Ward never felt comfortable. They were harassing him all day long. Like, guys got to settle down on that. That was actually one of their worst performances by data, but by film, I would say it wasn't their worst performance, but it was definitely not. If it's average, barely average.
Yeah. Where's Max Crosby? I know you know his numbers. Where he's at on his pressures and sacks. I think he only has 2 sacks, but I don't know his pressures.
Yeah, Max Crosby, I'm actually been a little surprised he's not in a lot of the conversation and everything. He's got 2 sacks. He also has, just real quick, I wanted to look at this. He right now has 8 tackles for loss as well from the edge position. So he's getting in the backfield and getting some tackles for losses. He has 6 quarterback hits. So, and like you said, the 2 sacks. So he's really, their defense is not very good. I think he's getting neutralized a lot because they don't really have. I mean, they got Jamal Adams playing linebacker. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew when they signed it because he's a Pete Carroll guy.
Yeah, and he played the most snaps last week. He played more snaps last week than he ever played for the Tennessee Titans.
Hey, Blaine, I'll say, though, like I know we were talking about this yesterday with the snap count on the road. They better mix some things up this week because Max Crosby's get-off is insane. I don't think there's a person with a better get-off than him in the National Football League.
I know Big Jeff right now may have that get-off. I mean, I know he's not an edge rusher.
From the edge position.
Yeah, from the edge position, but yeah.
I love Max Crosby, and I'm interested to see what his I don't know if you did any numbers, compare himself, Max Crosby, to himself of last year. Does he have the same get-off? And the only reason why I'm asking this is because I think he had off-season ankle surgery, so I don't know the extent of what that injury was. But I watched a game today, their last game against the Colts, and I just, because he has a motor like no other that I've ever seen as far as defensive linemen. I saw that, but I didn't see that extra burst he typically has, not only on the get off, but even like closing the deal on some plays. So I'm wondering if he's still getting used to the ankle, the surgery. It does take a quick second, especially with all the pressure when you're a big guy like that. So, but he's an elite level player, man. I love watching him. I want all linemen to turn on the tape and say, this is what relentless looks like.
Yeah, right now his time to pressure is 3.32 seconds. Now I'll have to see how that rates to what it was last year and all that kind of stuff. But like guys like Adam Butler and Malcolm Kuntz, who's an edge rusher on the other side, and then Adam Butler, who is a defensive lineman, defensive tackle, they have faster time to pressures. So I think there may be something to what you're saying.
Yeah, I just felt like, it's hard to see when you're watching a game, of the past and saying, man, he looks great, but is this the dominant player I saw last year? And he is, man.
Well, I would say with 2 sacks so far, when Jeffrey Simmons has more sacks than him, and I know he may be getting double teamed a lot or whatever, Max Crosby, but still, that's not the same Max Crosby to what you're talking about, to your point.
It could be also the new DC too, right?
Yeah.
They may be utilizing him a little bit different. You just never know. I just, I was watching him. Yeah, I saw Jamal Adams playing weak side linebacker. Yeah, he's playing the will. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all because it probably made his job a little bit easier. If he could stay healthy and avoid, getting hit by the lineman, man, I think he may have.
Well, I will say this: his pass rush get off.
Talking about Max Crosby?
For Max Crosby. His pass rush get off is 0.76 seconds. So that's from the ball snapped to his first movement across the line of scrimmage is how it's done. So, that's not too bad, but probably not as good as what it has been in the past.
That's why I said we got to compare Max Crosby to Max Crosby. He's an elite level player, so that still sounds really good, but is he what he used to be?
So all of last year, he was 0.8 in that stat. So he's a little bit faster.
That's what it says.
And his time to pressure, though, is 2.9, which is way faster in 2024 than it was in 2025. So it's like he traded one for the other. So
the effort and strain he plays with, too. Like,
that's what I said. It's unbelievable. His effort is unbelievable.
Like, he will work through anything to try to get a hit on the quarterback.
I saw him crawl and go tackle people twice. I said, this guy, there is no guy like him.
So he's the anti-Chris Jones who just stood up.
Yeah.
I've never seen a player do that.
Man, it's like unbelievable. Like his effort is like, I couldn't. I'm like, man, this is, man, he must be in some great shape. Yeah. Like those linemen usually typically get tired as the game goes on. Not him, man.
Yeah.
He does not.
So, they use a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel, 12 personnel with extra offensive linemen. And they even did some 11 personnel where they threw out extra offensive linemen out there. So they did one running back, one tight end, sometimes one wide receiver or two wide receivers and an extra offensive lineman. They did all that they could last week to make sure that Oli Udoh, and it was all pretty much on the right side, that Oli Udoh had as much help as possible. Because they even had Brandon, I think it was the first play of the game, they trotted out Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, David Martin Robinson, and I think Gunnar Helm out there in one play. I mean, no chick, but they put in all kinds of people out there. That Tony Pollard touchdown was practically all offensive linemen and David Martin Robinson. They were throwing everything they could to go jumbo heavy and make sure that they were getting the yards they needed to get, at whenever they needed to get them. It was wild. And it was good because that's what we've kind of been asking for the Tennessee Titans to do, right?
No, that's what you've been asking. Well, you said the stats tell you. We should see more of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you need to do. And apparently Peyton McCollums thought the assistant quarterbacks coach saw the same thing I did, and someone finally listened to someone in the building. But, for me, it's like, do more of that, especially against this team, because this team, I think, is got a worse defense in Arizona.
Watch this. Do you know those coaches aren't over there dumb, right? So they just did this. So that means they're stubborn. That's what it tells me.
Yeah.
We want to do it this way, and we want to run, we want to throw the ball.
Right.
No, we should be running the ball more because the stats and numbers tell us we should out of these formations.
And then, because then you can pass out of those same formations. You could pass out the same formations and buy yourself
just
time.
Use XYZ as the same guy, but they're just tight ends.
Well, it's the same thing like no huddle, right? And we'll talk about this no huddle thing because I think there's a weird narrative out there about no huddle from the media. Like oh wow, the Tennessee Titans used it in the fourth quarter. This means that they should be using no huddle all the time.
No.
I mean, they need to use more no huddle, but we'll talk more about that. I mean, let's go easy on what you guys are talking about. Let's go to Larissa, who wants to talk about the Titans. Larissa, you're on Blaine and Zach.
How you doing?
Hi, you guys. You guys make my heart smile. This entire station does. I have to laugh about some of the antics and the things that other shows have done. But how are you guys doing? First and foremost,
We're doing great.
I'll be quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is one thing that I'm really, really curious about. Because, like Blaine, you are an elite athlete. And we've got some kids that are actually trying to live up to the status of what that is from their parents. And, tell me, you're getting some residual effects from it, but can you imagine, okay, my dad's Blaine Bishop. My dad, I'm a Manning. I'm Cam Ward. I was first recruited. Folks, give them a little time to cultivate. But I would like to ask this. You've got some talented athletes. You can't expect their kids to always live up to their parents' athleticism. Mm-hmm. And even though they may be talented, but what are you guys doing? Don't break them down. And I'm not saying that about your child.
Right. Are you referencing Shedeur or who are you?
Shedeur, and, it's like, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. We were kind of talking about Shedeur Sanders off air because we were talking about, last week he had the weird mime thing.
I've never seen that.
And we'd never seen that before. He's like pantomiming. And then you said, well, why are they even interviewing him as the third string quarterback? And then I saw a clip from Bruce Arians on Kay Adams' show. And he said the same exact thing. And I'm thinking, I've never really thought of it that way before. But why are
in the car dealership?
All you have to do is think about what other third string quarterback do you know?
Well, did you hear this? Listen to Ross.
They caught him in the car dealership this week.
He was in the car
He got interviewed in a
dealership.
car dealership. Yeah.
And he got interviewed in a car dealership. And now Kevin Stefanski today, the reason we brought that up off air is because Kevin Stefanski said today he's non-committal between who's the backup quarterback, Shedeur Sanders or practice squatter Bailey Zappi. And that's kind of like we talk about it all the time. Actions speak louder than words. Ooh. And while there are words that kind of match the actions right now, that's telling you Kevin Stefanski didn't want Shedeur Sanders.
I believe that now. And maybe the GM or the organization, the owner, Haslam, they wanted Shedeur, maybe the GM, because that's him trying to protect himself of being right. Once again, because he wanted Dillon Gabriel and not Shedeur. Yeah. Because here's what he's trying to protect against. Once Dillon Gabriel have a bad game, because it's going to happen, he's a rookie quarterback, then everybody's going to be clamoring for Ross to go in the game. I mean, no, Shedeur. and the noise is going to get really loud. And you got to let Dillon Gabriel have his failures as a rookie quarterback. But you have to look at it as an organization. What are we trying to accomplish this year with these two young quarterbacks? We need to decide on if both of them can play and who we going to start next year. So you have to let both of them play throughout this season at some point. And because you want to know going into the draft what you're going to do. So I think Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel, based off of some of the numbers and some of the highlights, I thought he played decent. But you got to know he's a rookie quarterback. He's going to make mistakes, and so will Shedeur when he gets in there too as well. So what are you trying to accomplish? How long will the leash be for both players, and how long will you stick with them and then go to the other guy and vice versa, and then come back to the other guy? I don't know now that you don't have a veteran guy, but you must say we have to accomplish who is our starting quarterback before this season is up.
That's right. All right, coming up next, we're going to go to Kevin on the phone. 615-737-1045 is the number. We'll also talk about no huddle and the other things that Brian Callahan said about the game coming up this Sunday. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone.
Parents, when your teen athlete gets injured, every practice missed matters. So don't let an injury sideline their season or their dreams. Introducing the Edge Athletic Recovery Program, a 2-month, twice daily sublingual peptide protocol designed to help your athlete heal faster, recover stronger, and get back on the field safely. Our science-backed peptides BPC 157 and TB 500 support muscle, tendon, and ligament repair with no needles, no downtime, and no hassle. Safe for teens, non-GMO, gluten-free, and easy to take at home. Optional add-ons include M-Sculpt, functional sessions, and regenerative orthopedic treatments to accelerate recovery even more. So don't wait. Give your athlete the best shot at full return to the sport and call Edge Peptide Therapy at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878. Or you can go to them online at edgepeptide.com to schedule an office consultation today. And remember, Edge Peptide Therapy knows every game, every practice, and every dream matters.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Stores, 615-737-1045. Just saw an Indianapolis Colts reporter say that Chris Ballard and the Colts are all in on 2025 and 2026. Expect some win now moves to be made on the horizon
By the
if
GM.
available by the general manager. And a lot of people connecting the dots to Lou Anarumo and Trey Hendrickson.
Well, didn't they just sign your guy? Your guy.
Jermaine Pratt. Yeah.
Who the Raiders cut.
Who the Raiders
He's
cut.
starting middle linebacker.
Yeah, because they're going to play Jamal Adams. I don't know what's going on.
No, that's two different positions.
No, they both were playing linebacker.
No,
yeah.
no, I
He
know
said Jamal was Will, though.
No, he's the
Oh,
will
gotcha.
linebacker.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think Pratt is more, I would call Sam, which stands for strong side.
Yeah.
Because of his size. Two different type players.
Gotcha.
Well, they're not all the same. And then the middle linebacker. So, yeah.
But yeah, man, if the Colts do make a big trade for like Trey Hendrickson,
You think this is possible?
I think it could be. They got the money, they got the cap space to do it, and they got the draft picks, and they are kind of in win now mode. I mean, you never know when the Daniel Jones mojo is going to wear off, and then he's going to cost you more next year if you don't want to re-sign him, obviously.
Oh.
So I don't know. Maybe you take advantage of it, but they are a wagon right now. You guys got to start putting some respect on the Colts.
I try to tell you. I couldn't believe when we had Jordan DeJanier. He said they weren't in the top 5. I was like, hey, man, we must be watching two different teams. Now, granted, they kind of played some bottom feeders too, but when they played some elite, at least teams we consider elite or one of the better teams, they've still performed well, man.
Oof. I mean, remember, they would have beat Denver had it not been for a fluke penalty.
Right.
Kind of a little bit of a fluke penalty, as you can say. All right, let's go to Kevin in Nashville. Kevin, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon.
Doing great. I just wanted to say I grew up down the road from you, Blaine, or kind of up the road in Marion, Indiana, what was once the mecca of high school basketball in Indiana.
No doubt.
And grew up an Oilers fan because my dad let me stay up one night late in the late 70s, and I saw him go crazy on Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. So I just wanted to put that in perspective before I say two things real quick. There's one that I followed this team, like I said, all that time, and this is the first game that we could have coming up at home that could be meaningful in a while, and I want some people to get excited. If we can go beat these Raiders, we got them dirty Patriots coming in. Could be a lot of fun. We get Meatloaf back after that, or maybe that week, and we head to the Colts after that. So I see this team with potential, with a win this weekend, to have a little run. And I'm, for one, I'm excited and seeing a plus in this team, and looking forward to them getting better and better. But I wanted to add on to that. You guys got the best show on radio, sports radio. I listen to both of them all the time. Blaine, you've been the best radio personality for years in this town, and you guys both do a great job, and I wanted to tell you that. But I wanted to get your thoughts on a possible little run and stacking, like Coach Callahan said, and I'll hang up and listen.
Hey, thanks. Listen, it's possible. I mean, it is definitely possible. The Raiders are a team that you can beat right now. Now, can you beat them going through 3 crappy quarters? I don't know. I mean, they may match your crappiness for 3 quarters. You don't want to be that way, but you can. And he is right. The Tennessee Titans placed Tavondre Sweat on IR ahead of the Colts game. So that means you miss 4 games. That's the Colts, the Texans, the Cardinals. The Raiders will be the last game. So theoretically, he could come back off of IR and they could open up his window for the New England Patriots game.
Oh.
So that you get Tavondre, maybe you get J.C. Latham this week, Tavondre Sweat next week. Those are real reinforcements for this team. That helps Jeffrey Simmons. J.C. Latham's presence helps the entire offensive line, the run game, and your quarterback, Cam Ward. Those are real reinforcements. Now, what kind of run we're talking about? I wouldn't say playoff run, but again, if you're talking about a team that last week heading in Arizona looked like an 0-17 team, maybe we're back on track to be a 5 or 6 win team.
Yeah, but when was the last time the Titans won back-to-back games?
That was
It's been
the
wow.
Packers, the last game, the
Oh, the snow
second of the
game.
two games, the Packers game in the
So that
snow,
was
the Todd
No,
Downing game.
22.
November 2022.
Oh, 22. Oh, man. So with me, I'm going to believe it when I see it
Yeah.
type guy, when that hasn't happened. But that's why I was asking Coach Mack yesterday, how do you build on this and then bring that mojo into the next game, especially with a young team?
Yeah.
Which is hard because sometimes they kind of sit up and then relax because they think, oh, okay, we figured it out. And then, they just kind of go about their way. But instead of kind of, now I've seen success, let's even go even
Let's lock
further.
in.
Lock in. Let's get even deeper and studying harder and everything else about our opponent and love that feeling that we feel. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond, especially for a long period of time. We haven't seen the Titans just play consistent throughout an entire game, even under Vrabel. Those last 2 seasons. So something is in the air. I just want to see them do it again. And this is a time that it is possible. The Raiders aren't an elite team, and their quarterback is not playing very well at all.
No.
He's leading the league in interceptions, I think, or something like that. Every time I've watched him, he's throwing interceptions, throwing his helmet on the side.
I think he's only had one game without a single interception, and then he's had 3 games with 3 or more interceptions.
Oh, wow.
He's had 2 games with 0 touchdowns and multiple interceptions, if I'm not mistaken.
So I don't know if he's not comfortable with Chip Kelly as his OC.
No Brock Bowers possibly is a big thing.
Oh, I hope he is not playing because he did not play versus the Colts, and I sure hope he's not out there.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anybody right now that has proven that they can guard a guy like
Yeah,
that.
because, even Trey McBride was catching some passes, pretty easy open passes here and there. And he's going down and getting tackled, immediately, but it's damage is done sometimes after you catch a pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And since Winston played, I wonder if Bowers does play, do they have a package in where a guy like that, welcome to the NFL moment, you need to go guard this dude.
Well, let's talk about that and talk about maybe some packages they could put in for Cam Ward to help him with the Raiders. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to get in on the conversation. We're, of course, broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Blaine, just real quick, two things I want to touch on. Because you were talking about Kevin Winston possibly covering Brock Bowers if Brock Bowers was healthy and packages and all that. Kevin Winston
did pretty good. He played his first game in special teams.
He played all special teams, no defensive snaps, but that's a good start, right? Because you kind of want to ease these players in and then get them involved in their specific unit. Because I think that, the more, strength, conditioning, reliability, confidence you can build on special teams, that can then leak into getting more snaps on defense. Tyjae Spears is a little bit different because he got a couple of years in the league. Right. But good to see that he also escaped without re-aggravating any kind of injuries. So that's two big things. Again, we're talking about reinforcements. Those are two guys that can provide reinforcements in different ways for the Tennessee Titans. Get Tavondre Sweat back, get J.C. Latham back. Probably a more competitive team than what we've seen over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Probably more like the Denver Broncos game than it is the Houston Texans game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, both still losses, but they both look like totally different losses in the grand scheme of things. But one of the things that, a narrative that has kind of popped out of this game, obviously the Tennessee Titans went in heavier sets throughout the entire game. 2 tight ends, jumbo, offensive linemen, 13 personnel is used sparingly, but they used a lot more of it this week than they have in previous weeks. But I thought there's been a lot of questions about, because in the fourth quarter, when you typically see teams that are behind and competitive in games go up tempo, everybody's like, oh, the Tennessee Titans are going up tempo and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, well, that's kind of what the game script is in those situations. You typically have to go up tempo because you want to score points as quickly as possible in most of those cases. And everybody's been asking about no huddle this, no huddle that. And listen, no huddle for Cam Ward, statistically at college, he was better from no huddle. But the NFL is a totally different animal, obviously. But no huddle can help you, just like RPOs can help you. And everybody's been praising the Tennessee Titans for running. They're like, oh, they ran a lot of no huddle this game. Well, they ran the least amount of no huddle throughout this entire season in this game outside of week 1. They ran more no huddle in the other games than nobody's ever talked about. But now, because it resulted in a win, now the narrative is being pushed that you have to run more no huddle. That's kind of how it feels to me. And you know me, I'm all for more no huddle. The Commanders use like 56% every game. Like, I'm all for it, but that's also maybe unrealistic in certain situations too.
Yeah. We don't get carried away. I was saying that it catches defenses off guard. I was saying this earlier. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like the coaching staff aren't identifying what is actually working. Like you lean into that and pay attention. To me, that's what, instead of just looking like we run our system, we do this, and this is how we want to run it. You got to see what's working. So to me, if you started a game off like that, or after a quarter, coming off of a timeout, you kind of catch the defense off guard. And that's what I was referencing this entire time. Yeah. Not necessarily in 2 minutes, because every time that happened, he was under control for a rookie quarterback and did an excellent job at it. And so you see that kind of gets him into a rhythm and a flow. Right. And so maybe then you come back and then you start handing the ball off after you do that for a series. And then now he's in a rhythm or flow. Instead of trying to create his rhythm and flow, let him create it. Yeah. And so every player is built differently. And so that's why I don't like when he says, oh, he's like Joe Burrow. Well, Joe Burrow is in elite of the elite. There is not going to be anybody comparable to him. So all the things that you did, he doesn't think the same way as Joe Burrow. So, I just don't like that concept of we got to do everything the same. No, these are two different individuals that play two different ways, and his style is going to be different. Does he have that killer instinct and elite talent? Yes. But you got to watch him play and see what works for him. And I think just doing that periodically throughout games is really cool. And I think they should have been doing that. But not saying that you're supposed to run a no huddle, because then guess what happens if you do that all game? Guess what? If you go 3 and out, Your defense is on the field a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's why you don't do it an entire game.
It's all
like
about
that.
finding that balance, you know.
Yes.
And here's the thing: is that in the first half of this last game, where everybody's saying, "Well, they used so much no huddle," they used no huddle 2.3% of the time outside of the 2-minute drill in the second quarter. Yeah. So they're using it in the fourth quarter, and they should be using it in the fourth quarter when they're behind in the game and they have a limited amount of time to score. But now it's time to use it throughout the game. But let's not go overboard and try to run a commander-style offense because that's also not in these guys' wheelhouse. And you know what I'm saying? That's not what they've been practicing all year or all offseason. That's not what this coaches and staff is comfortable teaching or implementing either. You got to add more of it, just like you got to add more RPOs because they make your quarterback comfortable. They put your quarterback in a rhythm. But we don't need to be going crazy with this narrative that really – they did 12.3% of no huddle this week. Week 4 was 13%. So where was all the no huddle talk last week? Well, it's because they lost and they didn't look very good last week. So you got to give and take here when you're trying to push these narratives out there. They do need to do more no huddle. Don't get me wrong, but these people that are asking these questions are acting like, you know, they got to be doing 50% no huddle the way that they're asking these questions, and they keep asking the same question. Here's what Callahan had to say on fast tempo and how Cam handles it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're one of the top handful of teams, maybe top 8-9 teams in the league in terms of just on the ball tempo reps. Some of that's game situation. But it is something that we've done and we've continued to grow. It's stuff that we're always having in our package and we always have the ability to do. And, the more guys get used to doing it, the better we get at it, the more opportunities we'll have to continue using it. And it's been productive for us. I mean, we've had some pretty solid 2-minute drives over the course of the season. Cam does operate with some comfort in that, and I love no huddle football. I think it's great. I mean, I spent a lot of years doing it, some previous employment, so it's something that we're interested in, and that I think we have some ability to do well, and we've done quite a bit of it to start, and it's a path we can keep exploring those packages, keep finding ways to use it.
From your perspective and observations, like what is it about Cam that allows him to excel in those situations?
I think it's hard to probably pin all that down to one or two things, but there is some core concept things that go into it. It's things that we got a lot of reps on that we know well. There's something about tempo that does help kickstart the rhythm. There's something about that. It's always been the case, I think. There's teams are looking for some rhythm on offense or a spark. They try to jump the ball, and that can help. But I think there's a lot of things that make it just something maybe he's done quite a bit of in his college career over his stops. So those are all things that probably factor into it.
Okay, so I want to point out one thing. He says it's a real good way to get a quarterback in the rhythm. Then use it. We've seen Cam struggle with rhythm this whole entire season. Even in this last game outside of the fourth quarter, see him struggle with it. Use it. It's like, well, we really need to lean into the run game. Then do it. Like, everything is telling you to do it, and he is right. Their 12.9% on the season is top 10 in the NFL in no huddle.
But he referenced it because of situations,
yes,
which means they were behind and they had no choice.
Nailed it.
See, so that is what he's really saying. Instead of just looking to the surface of what he's actually saying he's really saying, but we shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But we were forced to do it.
Yeah.
Because if not, you would have been doing it before, as you were talking about. And these are the things that frustrate me when I sit back and I go, we should be doing more no huddle. And it's because you can see that they get into a rhythm. And being on the defensive side playing, how much that can throw somebody off, especially when your quarterback is not in rhythm and flow.
Yep.
And all you have to do is for a series and see what happens. And that's all I was asking. I'm not. You can't do that in entire game. There's no. That's pretty much impossible. You could actually hurt your team.
Yeah, because what the Commanders are doing is kind of insane. By the way, I mean it's unsustainable when you look at the rest of the league. They're obviously they're running no huddle 52.4% of the time.
Dang.
You
really?
know who the next highest is?
Wow.
That's the Jets at 25.7. So they're almost doubling the next guy.
And the Jets have been down a lot.
Yeah, and the Jets have been down a lot. The
Right,
Commanders have been up a lot.
Right. Did the Commanders do this last year when we played them? How much no huddle did they do? Do you guys recall? I don't remember it being a lot like that.
They didn't need to if they did.
50%, man, that's a lot.
Sorry, I said 52% is 59.7%.
That's
so it's
almost
even
60.
more. It's almost 60%. Weeks 1 through 5 so far, 59.7%. Next one is New Orleans at 25.3. I had a fourth quarter filter on. I had to delete it out there. So 25.3 for New Orleans. Then you got Philadelphia. Then you got the Giants. Then you got the Jets. Then you got Tennessee. But those guys are so far behind the Commanders. So if you want to, they're top 6 in no huddle. So he's right that they are doing that. And listen, they have the second fastest play to snap or time to snap too. So they're getting to the ball way quicker and getting on the ball and snapping way quicker than they did last year because they were at 29th last year. So
has that happened since he's been the game manager? Stripped of his play calling?
No, it's been the whole season. So I'll check. I'll check to see if it's gotten faster. That's a good observation and good thing to check. But at the end of the day, what I'm talking about here is that the same stuff they keep telling us that we should be doing this or we need to do this, they just never turn around and do. How about this? If you know that your quarterback loves RPOs and you know that your quarterback is good with motion, why don't you use it in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter? You don't have to use it all the time,
right.
But use it sparingly enough to keep the defenses on their toes too, right? It's a strategy.
You're supposed to be running in different personnel through that 15-play script that you have to see how they address your personnel and different personnel that you bring in.
Yeah.
And that way then you start setting your game plan based off of those 15 freaking plays you have on script. Now, he could say that they always get behind or a penalty or something like that. But at the same time, you get to identify how they're approaching. Every defense can be beat.
Yep.
So you get to see what they present out there, and then you come back and make adjustments, especially with all the iPads and everything else. Should be a lot easier. I don't understand why the offense has struggled this much in games.
I do not either. All right, coming up next, maybe we'll be hearing from Cam Ward up at the podium. Maybe he'll get some of these questions, and we'll get some of those answers. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Tommy! Let's talk insurance. King and Associates Insurance. They're independent agent, and that's a big difference. But it goes beyond just having multiple companies to shop, weeding out all the non-competitive companies, as well as keeping great relationships with the biggest and best, along with bundling. But unfortunately, life happens, and they get it. So here's a true story about my friend and co-worker that switched from a previous independent agent and got better coverage on his home and its contents, even his automobiles, with flawless communication and a true champion in his corner after his 16-year-old daughter's accident, and they saved them thousands of dollars. And thousands from an independent agent who was overcharging him for years. Are you in the same situation? You need to find out. And you can make the switch and save the same, if not more. But don't make the switch because he did or I did. Switch because you should. As a business, family, or an individual, making the switch to King and Associates Insurance. And I'm sure you can do for that extra moolah that you'll put in your pocket. So if you want the extra money, give them a call at 615-321-8121. That's 321-8121 or tkinginsurance.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We await Cam Ward to get up at the podium. We have our screens up. As soon as he is up, we will toss it over to St. Thomas Sports Park to hear from QB1. Blaine, you asked a good question. What was the difference in the pace of play? So from getting out of the huddle to snap and all that stuff on average between the first 3 weeks and the last 2 weeks of Bo Hardegree. And in fact, Bo Hardegree has gotten down that pace of play to 2.6 seconds. Down 2.6 seconds. And Cam Ward is about to be up at the podium. So as soon as Ross signals to me that we're ready, we'll toss it over to Cam Ward and we'll continue that pace of play discussion later.
Don't get used to it. Yeah. I guess Cam, after the win, you got to try to keep it as similar as it does every week, or how do you guys approach it maybe coming out the first one of the year?
Really the same. Got to get better. We still have a lot to, just prove to ourselves, just with execution standpoint, offensively and defensively. Then we still got to get a lot more wins.
How do you feel about what you were able to do or not do in the Cardinals game after you got a chance to watch some of it back?
Just a lot of easy stuff that I missed personally, especially me and the receiver core as a unit. A lot of times just really just ball placement where I need to put the ball to make it a more catchable ball for them and a runner's ball for them. Put them on their chest, let them turn the field and get some yaks. So just continue to, be accurate, and then all of us taking accountability and trying to get better every day.
What did you guys feel in those last? You went from those first 10 drives really not accomplishing a whole lot. The last 3, you guys were moving the ball with ease. What did you feel changed?
I just think we executed, honestly. From myself going to the right place with the ball to everybody on the offensive line doing their job, which they did the whole game, and the receiver room, us connecting on, our intermediate, our short game, and our deep shots. I think just everything just flourished on those drives, and we just got to have more drives like them.
What's the key to making it translate for 4 quarters instead of 1 quarter like it did Sunday?
Not having interceptions, fumbles, negative plays, that's the biggest thing. A lot of times throughout the season we've always shot ourselves in the foot, and we didn't do that towards the end of the game, so we just got to build off that.
When you guys go to tempo, obviously, the defense can't sub out, so I would imagine it simplifies it for you a bit. Is that true?
It doesn't simplify it for me. It's just something that I've done my whole career at every stop. I lived by tempo. It's something that has got me to where I am. So it's just another way I know how to play football. So I think it just helps us as an offense.
And with that tempo, it creates a sense of urgency. Is that something that you experience as opposed to the same calm player that you always are?
It does, especially from a defense standpoint. Them not really knowing, what we're in. Us trying to see if we can get the perfect play in a look if we can. Then it's just also something that I think we're real good at. Something that we're going to get into more, as the season goes. But we also got to be productive out of it as well.
You said you'd live in it if you could, but that's not real football. How much more of it do you think there could be for it still to be real football?
Just after, whether it's a big play, or if in my mind, I would want to do it after a negative play. Flush it, get on the ball, let's go fast, see if we can steal one from the defense. But it's all about situational as well. If we're backed up, if we're past the 50 or not. So a lot goes into it.
When you watch the Raiders on film, and I guess Crosby especially.
Say that again?
What do you see when you watch the Raiders on film, and what are your thoughts maybe on Crosby, especially just how he disrupts games?
Powerful player. From getting off the snap each and every down, he's a disruptive. And he's somebody that that you want to go against. He's one of the best defensive linemen out there, and it's gonna be fun to go against him. Bro, what's wrong with you, dog?
Cam, I know you have confidence in your offensive line all the time, but how big were they in that fourth quarter the other day? Just allowing you enough time to get those, push the ball down the field and get those big plays down the rhythm.
I think that was why we were able to win the game. Both sides of the ball, the O-line, D-line, those guys, they worked hard all week, and that's one of the hardest positions to play in the NFL. And those guys, they kept me clean for the entire part of the game, and I just think that's only just a start for those guys. Us finally getting a chance to communicate at a high level. That was one of our first games, not really having no communication issues. And then I think just throughout the future, we're going to be able to play faster.
If JC's back in the mix now, how much even better can that get?
That's going to be real good. Just from a athletic standpoint, he's just different. The way he moves, the way he takes care of his body, he's a great leader on this team. He's someone who's a standpoint offensive line, so we get a chance to get him back. He's going to be able to help us for sure.
When you and Callie talk about focusing on keeping your eyes where they need to be, and you also talk a lot about taking what the defense gives you. How often are those the same thing? Like, are your eyes where they need to be if you're taking what the defense gives you? How does that work together?
It works together really a lot of times, depending on whatever the play call is, or what type of situation it is. Then a lot of times it could be reactionary to where the ball should go, but sometimes in the game it don't happen like that. So really just got to be able to see and find it.
Does one come above the other? Is it more important to take what the defense gives you, or is it more important to keep your eyes where they're supposed to be?
No, I think it's more important to complete the football and move the chains. So I'll say both, honestly.
How important was it to get the tight ends involved too?
Say that again.
The tight end involvement on Sunday with Chig and Gunner, getting them involved offensively too.
Real. I would say, especially from I think I haven't gave them enough chances this year, which I did this past week, and they seen what they can do, especially after the run, getting us those yak yards. So we got a very talented group of tight ends, but we just got to continue to feed them, continue to get them more involved, and it's going to continue to help us.
Gunner has said that, that throw to him that you had the 19-yarder that set up the touchdown. He said that was something you saw Seattle do against the Cardinals. How does that process work for you, like where you see something and then you work to get it implemented into the game plan?
That's why I think the best thing about just myself and the offensive staff is that we really see the same stuff on the field, even in the film room. So a lot of stuff that I think they are already thinking as well. And then I just think it's just really me and Gunner just knowing what we're both good at, type of throws I'm good at making, and what type of routes he's good at running. His catch rate is ridiculous for his size, and so it is good to get him the ball, but we're gonna continue to do it.
Cam, one of the things you told us a couple of weeks ago was that you knew this thing would work because when you went back and watched the film, you'd see this guy was open, or if this had been done, this would have been a big play and things like that. Did you ever get frustrated with yourself or the process while the team was struggling as bad as it was?
A lot too, because a lot of stuff is stuff that I can control from where the ball should go every play. Then also some of the reaction stuff in the pocket, I didn't need to do as much movements, especially early in the season. So I think it's just stuff I'm getting better at just day in, day out in every game I play. But it's something that, I got to get better at fast and, keep on being consistent at it.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
All right, that was Titans QB1 Cam Ward. Had a lot of interesting stuff to say. This is the second week in a row he's kind of told us, the media, about something that he used to do a lot in college and had a lot of success with it, and they're going to incorporate it more, according to him, as the year goes on. And that's, again, talking about the up-tempo stuff. And he said, it's just something I've done my whole career. I live in up-tempo. It's just another way to help. And he said that this team kind of is good at it. And now they got to execute out of it, right? They got to get the positive plays. But it's something they're good at, and he said it's something that we should see more of. But again, that all sounds good and nice, but let's see it, actually.
Yeah. Let your actions do the talking. But it shows, he's real comfortable with the offense. What I take from it is not only is it curveball and changeup for the defense to kind of get you into a rhythm, but it's something, that Cam is very comfortable with, and he now then controls everything.
Yeah.
So even if they are still telling him a play, he's up and running down, putting up signals, giving his fingers, calling out the play. So he kind of, most elite quarterbacks like to have that kind of control, and even young in their career. So you can go back to the laundry list of everyone. But, yeah, I think Peyton Manning is good. Everybody pays attention to him from here. And that's kind of how he set his stone and became really good. He was doing that.
Yep.
And then it morphed into something totally different afterwards. But yes.
I thought it was really interesting that he also said that he actually likes to run no huddle more after a negative play. That he likes, it allows him to flush it, give me the ball, let's do it after a negative play, and kind of catch the defense on their heels. I thought that was pretty interesting and kind of a unique way to look at it.
Yeah, it was definitely different. I had never heard a player say something like that with a negative play and come back. But it makes a lot of sense to me if you can get everybody on the same accord when you have a negative play. Typically, you want to kind of reboot and try to say, okay, now that we've lost yardage, let's say now it's 2nd and 15. We want to call something that we want to make sure we at least get half the yardage. So, but you do catch the defense a little off guard if you do that. So I would be interested to see that.
I believe it was Buck who asked a question about some of the stuff that he saw back on tape, the good stuff, the bad stuff, whatever that he saw from the Arizona Cardinals tape, and what he went back in film review and saw. And Cam Ward really just focused on all the negative stuff from the Arizona Cardinals tape, because that's the stuff he can improve upon, right, to take his game to the next level. The easy stuff that he missed, ball placement, where I need to put it. And he says, he specifically talks about something we talked about yesterday, kind of throwing kind of behind them on the back of the chest. He says, I need to put it on their chest to allow them to run and get yardage for it. And I thought that was some really good self-awareness. It's not going to be fixed overnight or anything. This is something that he's going to have to work through. But the fact that because we were kind of talking about making sure that you don't rest on your laurels and all that kind of stuff. We never thought that Cam Ward would, but we also talked about, you probably get more negatives after a win than you do after a loss when you're talking about in the film room. And it sounds like the stuff that he went through and saw on film was a lot of the negatives. And that's, I think, a good thing in my mind.
Well, absolutely. I think all the players who are elite can take constructive criticism, and it doesn't bother him because he knows that he can get better. And you want everybody to be in that kind of situation. You don't want everybody to, be sensitive when you get corrected. So, he has thick skin. He's a truth teller, too, and he has great self-awareness. And I love it because a lot of people just don't. And especially in sports, so
sometimes
players.
Too much telling the truth, but
right. But he'll learn how to put the line. But I actually like it just because he talks about all the things he continually needs to improve on and that he's seeing, and that'll be all throughout the season, especially in a rookie season. So he's going to be, it's going to be all on his shoulders. But I don't feel like he ever feels like he's under pressure and under a microscope.
And also,
when you're talking to him, you just don't ever feel that being the number one overall pick. Now,
and it also
did he get frustrated? He said, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm frustrated just like everybody else. I want to win.
Yeah. Well, it also feels like when he talks about this negative stuff that maybe he has to work on, it feels like, okay, well, you got it. Like, I mean, you eventually he's still going to make mistakes, but you kind of feel like if anybody's going to overcome these mistakes that he's seen on film, it's probably Cam Ward. Like the way that he just talks about him so nonchalantly almost, it's like, hey, these are things I got to work on. I'm a football player. That's my job. I'm going to work on those things, and I'm going to try my best to make sure that they're all corrected.
Yeah, I think he talks like a really elite level, promising young player. And when I say that that's because, as you get older, you start looking at, okay, I want to try to play a perfect game. I feel like he feels like, okay, I'm not there to play a perfect game yet, but I'm there to keep improving each and every day. So if I can do that as a young player at the quarterback position, where will I be at the end?
Yeah.
And then I build on that because your goal is always to see if you can play a perfect game, knowing in reality you never will play a perfect game, but you can get really close. So I don't think he, I guess, sits back and think about all the bad plays, but he's sitting there talking about, well, yes, if I correct this, we do this, it can help our team win. And it's really just refreshing just to hear him talk like that as a quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback. Wow.
Yeah.
I also liked, it seemed in the first half, even when things were going pretty rough, that he was playing a lot more on time. Now in the play action game, he missed some, I thought, but just in the standard drop back pass game, he was playing very well on time. They just weren't hitting. He talked about it, some of the inaccurate balls or just not on the same page, but he looked to have taken a step forward in that aspect, just being timely.
Yeah, and I thought that the answer about getting the tight ends involved was, again, he's a truth teller, right? He says, I haven't given them enough chances.
Opportunities, yeah.
I haven't given them the opportunities, and now I've seen them, got the ball to them. They got a bunch of yak yards, and I have to continue to feed them and get them more involved. It's not the coach's job; it's my job.
Yeah.
And listen, some of it is the coaches, because we talked about the play yesterday with the sack on Dan Moore and how everybody. It was a what, 3rd and 10 or 2nd and 10? I can't remember what it was. I think 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10, I think.
And all 4 wide receivers are 5
Vertical.
yards past the sticks. 5 yards past the sticks, and there's no outlets. So some of it is the coaches have to help him out and make sure he has an outlet to get to him. But also, I do think the stuff I've seen on film is that some of the most frustrating stuff is when he doesn't give it to the tight ends, and they are open. They can get that yak. And if he's now seeing it, and he now has seen success doing it, maybe we'll see more of it, and I would think that we do, but still, everything right now is kind of a big question mark.
Yeah. On a fun note, I wish he would have said, yeah, man, I need to, continue to feed my tight ends and my slot receivers, Lockett, Gunnerham, and everybody. And then I wish he would have finished that off, and Restrepo.
Well, Restrepo was there. That's why he kept laughing, because Restrepo was doing something or saying something in the background.
Like, that would have went viral.
Oh, it would have said.
And Restrepo, too.
Yeah, it would have set everybody on fire.
Is he drafted? Do you tell us something we don't know?
Yeah. But I will say this, J.C. Latham did practice today. Bryce Oliver did practice today.
Oh, yeah. The way he was talking as though Latham is back.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see tomorrow.
We'll see, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the way he was talking.
Welcome back, too. Playing Max Crosby first game back. A little, probably not fully healthy, but almost there, hopefully.
Yeah.
Have fun, JC.
I will say this. It's very refreshing to hear this kind of answering and not, I got to rewire my brain.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. He's not even here to defend himself.
Hey, I saw he liked an Instagram post about the win, so
There you go.
He's keeping tabs on everything.
I just will say, out of all quarterbacks that you usually hear speak, he's speaking like the quarterbacks that you typically get the most out of in the NFL. Like his mindset, though, his approach, the way he views the game, scares me just a little bit that he says he said it twice now that he sees the same thing his coaches are seeing, because sometimes I question if their coaches know what they're seeing. But, hey, as long as it turns into wins, that's all that matters right now.
He's making sure he's on the same page with them.
Yeah. All right. Coming up next, last call for phone call, 615-737-1045. We'll hear from Callahan on a few more things, including Jihad Ward and also Cam's throwing velocity. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 1045 The Zone.
It was once said, do all the good you can, by all means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. That's what owner Aaron Stokes has tried to do for over a quarter century. Hi, folks, it's Blaine Bishop for Eurofix. And Eurofix repairs European vehicles at below dealer pricing, but what sets Eurofix apart isn't just price. It's the deep commitment to quality that keeps you off the tow truck. And Eurofix has clean, welcoming shops where you can actually sit down and relax. Plus a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection to share with you what's going on. And at Eurofix, you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repair work performed, and rental cars are available with all appointments. You know they have 5 locations, all in the state of Tennessee, Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and Mount Juliet. And all you have to do to set up an appointment is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is last call for phone calls. And guess what? We got a little surprise for you. J.C. Latham was in the locker room taking interviews, and we got some clips today. Woo-hoo! Ross is working on pulling them up. I sent them to him, but he had to go use the restroom or something, so he's a little behind. But,
no, I just played music off the computer, so I set these things.
All right, so you let me know when you are ready, is what we'll do.
Oh, man, we get
I know.
Latham back.
All right, he's ready. And this is from A to Z Sports. This is J.C. Latham on his return to the lineup, which hopefully comes this week.
It feels great. It feels great, especially being sidelined for as long as it was. So.
How you feeling?
I feel great.
Lions kind of done pretty well the last 2 weeks. How eager are you to come in and kind of take it up another notch?
Just do everything I know in my power that I can do, and then continue to just try to keep getting better and adding value to the team.
What's the problem?
Is that both of the clips?
Just taking it day by day. Trusting the training staff to give me the right amount of exercise and work to just get a feel for it every single day.
Is there a certain
Okay. Apparently, the A to Z couldn't do one continuous clip for whatever reason, but either way.
As long as it was,
How you feeling?
I think Ross is messing with you.
Maybe. Either way, it sounds like he said he sounds great. He's ready to get out there and everything. So fingers crossed. We'll see how he feels tomorrow. Today was a little bit. Now, today, is that a full practice or typically a walkthrough?
Wednesday, yes.
Yeah,
This
okay,
is a
full practice.
Yeah.
So there you go. So hopefully we'll see some J.C. Latham, because that would be big for this team right now. I mean, you have the momentum of the fourth quarter, something to build on, and then now you get back your starting right tackle, hopefully. Maybe that turns into something.
How far was the flight to Arizona? I forget.
Oh, I'm sure it's
3.5, 4?
Yeah, 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
I know Ross knows stuff like that. He flies so often.
I have not been to Arizona in years. I'll be going in the spring though, so hope it's not more than 3.5.
Let's see.
Where is that?
A nonstop flight's about 4 hours. Yeah. So,
why do you think I asked that?
I have no clue why he asked that.
Because you're going back west. Should you have stayed there?
Oh, yeah, that was very interesting. I mean, a 4-hour flight, and now listen, they're on a jet that they can just take off and leave and probably fly as fast as they want to. I don't know.
No, it's charter flights.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not. It's
not private plane.
No.
Are you sure?
Not the Titans.
Not the Titans?
No, not the Titans. They own a plane that's either American, Northwest, Southwest. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, one of those planes.
Gotcha.
But it's all, staff.
Gotcha.
Phoenix to Vegas is like, what, 30 minutes though? 45?
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
So you could have stayed there, practiced all week, did everything, and then had a short flight. Only reason why I say that because now you're going back across and you're going to be probably playing at 3, correct? I'm assuming.
Yes, it is another 3 o'clock game because they got back late that night.
Right. And it's a difference because there's a little bit of hangover. So I'll be interested to see if you asked the honest peel for the coaches, how was practice today? As far as focus, dragging, things of that nature because of the flight coming back. That is just, just something to think about. But that's more head coach deals. But as a player, I used to be like, oh, man, it'd be cool if we just stayed over here.
Well, it always, to me, has always made sense. It's like, the Vikings obviously stayed over, and it really didn't help them, but they stayed over across the way because they had 2 back-to-back international games. That's a little bit different.
It is.
But when you're talking about 3 road trips right in a row, that's a lot of plane traveling, a lot of time change and everything. Why not just get adjusted to the time change since you're already over there? I'm kind of with you on that in the sense of why not just stay over on that side of the coast?
That's the flight this time to Vegas is what, 5 hours? What will it be? I don't know. I forget. 4.5 or so?
Yeah, probably 4.5, 5 hours.
He's just playing it at 3, but it's a tough call.
Yeah, Dixie in the chat says, that's a whole extra week of hotels and free food. Titans too cheap for that.
In all seriousness, though, do you think they would have done it had they not had the long preseason trip? Like, I don't know if they want to do 2 long road trips in the short span.
Well, watch this. I'm going to turn it around. I had a great question, but I'm going to turn around and say, isn't that why you did that? So you be prepared for this trip? See, that's kind of how I looked at it.
That's good.
That's
what made me think about it. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
This guy's a cover Johnny right there.
Boy, you see how dragging they were in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
As a coach, as the head coach. You know, your hands are tied if, your owner won't pay for it. I don't know if that was the case or not, but yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, let's hear about Brian Callahan. I don't know if you were aware about this, but there was a Albert Breer article that was posted after their win, the Monday Morning Quarterback over on Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought up this meeting of the team captains and the head coach and everything. And the way that he writes it, it sounds like this was something that created a spark. And I do remember Brian Callahan last Wednesday sounding pretty upbeat in his press conference for a guy that was probably dead man walking at the time. And so I asked Easton to find out, hey, this weekly meeting or this Wednesday morning meet, did this happen in the morning before his press conference or after? And come to find out, he does it every week. So this wasn't some big, players only coach meeting where they're hashing out all this stuff. So here's what Brian Callahan had to say on his weekly meeting with some of the team captains.
Yeah, it's really productive, I think, for all of us, both from my perspective, getting information, things I might need to know, things that I can try to help with, things that maybe they have, they'd like me to address in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's as simple as a schedule tweak or, hey, look, this is how the team's feeling today. It just helps me get a pulse from them on what the team is. And they actually have a lot of conversation amongst themselves where I just sort of sit back and let them talk. I'll offer some thoughts on the theme for the week or some messaging that I want to get ahead of and give to them so they can carry that message as captains of the team. And they're really productive. It's just a chance for us to take 20 minutes on a Wednesday morning for the start of the week and check in, make sure we're doing the things we need to do. And but I think the coolest part to me is when I get to just sort of step back and hear them speak to each other about leadership, about where we are as a team, what we need to see from them. They've all really grown quite a bit too. It's been a fun process to see, and to hear them talk to each other, I think is really the thing that I enjoy most about it, and it's productive. I'm glad we do it.
I mean, I'm not saying this is a good thing, bad thing, whatever. I mean, it's just a weekly meeting with the team captains. Is that something that you guys did as well with the coach when you guys were playing?
Yeah, definitely early on. But as time went on, there was really no meeting. I mean, everybody was already on the same page. We were together a lot longer. I didn't have change of coach, and any of those things. So, yeah, that was kind of a moot point. We would have meetings just on hey, we should take pads off, bro. So they got a limited amount of time now.
Yeah.
But Coach Fisher was really good at that, man. I don't even know if I would have played that long just because of that. But he had a great pulse on our team.
Yeah, the way that Albert Breer wrote it, it made it sound like this was the pivotal moment, and this is the thing that changes the season. It's just like, no, this is just the same meeting they do every week. It's just, it's just funny because where he's getting that from. He's getting that from his old boy Mike Bergonzi, because that's who broke the Mike Bergonzi hiring. So anything that comes from Albert Breer is usually from Mike Bergonzi in my mind. So a little bit of, I guess, good PR that he was trying to get out there, which I don't blame him, but it was just funny to read that and to come find out, they just do it every week. But it's a good thing. To me, in my mind, that's a good thing for a younger team like this.
Absolutely.
All right, that will do it for us. 3HL's up next. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime,
and in between time,
peace.